Alright, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. As part of the Rankin Technical College AWD1111 class for the fall 2020 semester, I'm doing a series of video presentations based on the textbook for the class, and that textbook is Get Programming with Node.js by Jonathan Wexler, a Manning publication. I've run into trouble in Lesson 10, so I've decided, not right this second, but soon, I'm going to go back and I'm going to bring up the author's code totally and see if that runs. Okay? Alright, but with that said, I'm going to jump into Lesson 11, which is Configurations and Error Handling. So in Chapter 10, we attempted to add embedded JavaScript to our views. In this lesson, we add the finishing touches by modifying the package.json file with the start script. Now, why would you want to do this? Well, not every single JavaScript file or not every single Node.js program starts with a sometimes the file is index.js, sometimes it's app.js, sometimes it's main.js or server.js. You know, it could be anything. You don't want to leave your end user hanging where she or he has to figure out how to start the program. So by putting in this start script, now all we're going to have to do is basically to do a start command, and you'll see that in just a minute. Alright, so we'll change our start script, we'll serve static pages with Express, and we'll create middleware functions to handle our errors. In this lesson, as the author says, we explore ways to serve error pages. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to come in here and we want a copy of our Express templates folder. And that's fine. And where is it? There it is. So let's copy it and then we'll paste it. Of course, I don't see it anyplace. Paste. There we go. We will work with the original. We'll keep the copy over there someplace else. In the next chapter, we will do the capstone project for Unit 2, and we will totally rewrite, and that's what I am going to do, is no copying, hopefully. Just a bunch of total rewrite of the original confetti cuisine. So, there you go, there's my copy. So I'm going to work with the original. First thing I want to do then is open up my package.json file, and under the test thing that's here, I'm going to go in, and you need a comma, and I'm going to add start node, and mine is index.js. In the book, they use main.js, but I used index. Okay, that should fix that. Save, and I should be able to close that. So I made the copy. In my package.json, I added a comma, I put start node index.js. As it says, this script allows you to run npm start to start the application, and it means that whoever runs your application doesn't need to know the name of your main application file. Save your file and run the application with npm start. Let's just try that, to double check and make sure that indeed this is looking the way that I should be looking. What happened there, I don't know. Oh, I didn't change to my directory. So cd to express templates. And npm start. Okay, looks good so far. Notice it knew to go to node.js, run node from index.js. Okay? Alright. Now, I still think I'm going to be getting errors. I don't even want to check that right now. It's the least of my worries. So, in the next section, you improve the way you handle errors in the application. What is the purpose of the scripts object in your package.json file? It allows you to define aliases for commands that you want to be able to run using the Node Package Manager. Alright, section 11.2, page 116. So far, Express has been a great improvement. Well, that's considering I'm having problems with it, but that's debatable. One perk is that the application doesn't hang forever when a request is made to a path for which no route exists. All right. When you make your request for your homepage, however, if there's no route to handle it, you get an unfriendly cannot get / in your browser. You can take different approaches to this with NJS. The first is to log it to the console whenever the error occurs, but one thing that does is that expects that the person running it is going to look at the console and that she or he knows what that even means. So the author recommends that you create a new controller and install the HTTPS install this. So we're going to create an error controller and then we're going to run that command. So first we will go into our controllers folder. And we will create a new file in here that's called errorcontroller.js. There it is. Oops, I don't want that. Let's go back into our project. Let's stop the run here. That's interesting. And let's run that. Oh, it does not like that line of code. I am in Express Templates, which is where I should be. npm install http status codes space -- save. Okay, this time I did not get an error. It gave me let's double check and see if it did put that in there. So inside of this is the authors, I don't want that. Site of code modules, we should now have HTTP status codes. That looks good. So we've created that file. There's nothing in it. We are to add the function shown here. Alright. And this is telling us to show the error in the console and then go on. So this function contains one more argument than normal middleware. It is the next argument. What next does, again, is it tells the system, I have finished with my middleware that I have written. Go on and do the next thing. Alright, so this right here, that error corresponds to this error that's right here. Alright, so we put that in. Using console.log for general debugging is great, but as your application gets more involved, you want to vary your log messages, so we'll talk about that at a later time. Next, you need to tell Express to use this middleware function by requiring it, so we have to add app_use this to our main.js file, which of course for us is index.js. There it is. Make sure to add the middleware line after the rest of your normal route definitions. Well, let's take it and put it down right there, right before our app listen. By default, Express handles any errors at the beginning of processing requests. If you want to respond with a custom error message, you can catch all routes at the end with a 404 status code if it's not found, or a 500 if there is an error in the process. So it says this is what we want in our error controller.js file. I'm going to have to change that because of the goofy line break the author put in there. We can leave this. Okay. I'm going to pretty this up for just a second. So that'll go into our new improved error code, or error controller, I should say. As shown in the following listing. I am on the top of page 118. Alright, and again, this is to handle a 404 error. This is to handle a 500 error. If you want to customize your error pages, you can add a 404.html and or a 500.html. In your public folder, we could make it red or do whatever we wanted to do in there. Okay? Then, instead of responding with a plain text message, you get this special file. The file won't use your templating engine to process the response. The respond no resource found function looks like the following listing. I think we have to take this, copy it, and add that to our error controller. I think we already have that right here. Nope. This is the internal error. This is the no resource found error. Right? Now that you have error message being served to your users and logged to the terminal, you should make sure the app is set up for receiving static files like your 404.html page. Alright, quick check. 11.2 on the bottom of page 118. Why does your middleware that handles missing routes go after the normal application rules? And as it says, it acts like a final else in an if-then-else block. So if nothing else matches, that's what it's going to grab. Alright. Then to finish up on this, because this was a short chapter, the last section is a short one. If you're in your application from Unit 1, serving all different types of static files and assets would require hundreds of lines of code. With Express.js, this stuff will be done basically automatically. The only thing you need to do is to tell Express where to find these files. Notice static files contain your assets, and again, your assets are your .css files, your image files, your client-side JavaScript files, and your custom error pages like 404.html and 500.html. These pages, as it says, don't go through the templating engine because they don't contain any EJS values. So that's what makes them, quote, normal HTML files, you might say, unquote. Alright, to set up this task, you need to use the static method from the Express module. This takes an absolute path. Then, as with any other middleware function, you need to tell the express.js app instance to use this feature. Alright. To enable the serving of static files, add app use to our main, which is our index file. This line of code tells the application to use the corresponding public folder at the same level in the project directory as main.js to serve as static files. With this code in place, you can visit your 404 that assumes we made one and we didn't. You can also place an image or another public asset and access it by file name in the URL. Final quick check 11.3 there. What important static files live in the public folder? And again, I've already mentioned them to you. They are your client-side JavaScript, your CSS files, your image files, and the HTML files that are used to handle your error pages because they don't contain any embedded JavaScript. Okay? So in this lesson, we learn how to change the application's start script. We also learn how to log and manage errors. So in the next chapter, and that's why I kind of bugged off trying to do any more for 10, I'm going to attempt to go back and rebuild the Confetti Cuisine site from scratch. Now, that said, let's just take a look, because I found this before. So let's see. I'll probably keep that. There. What I want to show you and I don't know if this is even going to work or not, but I'm going to try it anyway. So this is the capstone. I didn't want to move it. It's okay. I will just copy it back here. There we go. Okay. So I want to look at this, and I don't know with the finished product if we will be able to bring it up or not. I have no idea. But I'm going to try it just to see what it looks like. Now, this may totally blow up in my face, but that's okay. And it looks like it did. It says cannot find the module express. And when you look in there, let's see if we can do this, if we can bring this back. Trying to run an install, and I'm going to see if that brought back my node module. There it is. So that brought everything back. So now let's see if we can run this. Okay. Okay, so how is this going to change? There's our courses page. Looks a little nicer than what we had before. There is our contact page. Still looks pretty similar. That's got to be cleaned up a little, I guess, but that's no big thing. There's our home page. Let's try to see if we can get an error page to come up. put hello in there. Oops, something went wrong, or the page you're looking for is not available. So that's what we're going to be adding. I'm going to come back and I'm going to build that puppy from scratch in just a couple minutes.